So, P-Man, have you had any problems with the Windows 8.1 upgrade? Coming up on this Linux Gamecast Weekly, Hell and Damnation Beta is live. Natural Selection 2 works? Retrobooster makes with the updating, and we talk elemental worlds. All this, plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux Gamecast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, how-tos, and more importantly, whatever the hell else we come up with. Normally joining me is a trine of fine young cannibals, but this week Jordan actually masturbated himself to death. But someone else stepped in as our number one. Make it so.
Pretty.
No.
It really wasn't pretty.
And all the way from Portugal, Master Mateus is feeling in. So we are just, I guess you would call us a circle jerk this week. Because that's kind of what we are. Coming up this week, we are talking about Hell and Damnation Natural Selection 2 actually mothering works. Terry Welsh, ex-NASA employee, is going to be screaming about Retrobooster and elemental worlds. Seems kind of neat. So before we get started, we do like to still converse about what's been going on during the week with each other. But I heard you know something about a man named Crichton.
Yes. Commander John Crichton. He's been stuck in a remote part of the universe. And you probably already guessed that I'm talking about Farscape, which I started watching because that's a show that never aired on Portuguese television. And I only have one gripe with that particular show, which is the episodes are 50 minutes long. I keep losing track of time. It's not pretty.
I have no idea how you managed to masturbate. I did actually spend... I actually got to look at it in the show notes because I wrote it down, didn't I?
Yep. Yes, you did.
I bought a responsible motoring vehicle for my children, which are not my children.
Notice the air quotes. For our audio listeners, there were air quotes.
There were air quotes. I spent 16,000 quid, 317 and 8 pence on it.
Ooh.
Used motoring vehicle. I got a 2010 Volkswagen Jetta with only 60,000 miles on it, so it's effectively brand new. Leather seats, all the trims, literally like more than I knew about satellite radio, temperature control. I'm still futzing with it. Yesterday, I did put it in its little sports mode thing, and I took all the traction control off and spent half the day driving it sideways and getting rid of the tires. After that, I will be the first to tell you, we do have this. I mean, it comes with like this douchey flip-out key thing, which, in comparison, all right, that's the Volkswagen. This is my 1979 Dodge Magnum XC 5.6 liter V8. My normal daily driver. That's a fast
Dodge Magnum,
car.
bitch.
2-ton car, hard to call a sports car. This is the key for my 73 De Tomasio Pantera. That's a real sports car. This shit's not a sports car, so I don't care how many racing stripes and exhaust cans you put on the back of your Jettas. They're not sports cars. They're front-wheel drive. They're 5-cylinder, 2.4 liters. I don't care if you got the 4-cylinder turbo version. They're too heavy, but they're still responsible, and they get decent gas mileage.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think we need to make with a whoring.
Yeah, we don't have our sexy Canadian this week, so... Then
we just got the Portuguese.
Hang
on, we do. Maybe they can step in. All right, Shatrim, you are the darkest of the dark. the trolliest of trolls. These people actually. Now, if you think you're a troll, oh, son, you're wrong.
You have no idea.
These people actually donate to keep us on the air so they can continue hating us. That's pro-troll. You're an amateur troll compared to these people, and they will be the third appendage for this week. But let's break it into the whoring, because we are talking about LinuxGameCast, and here it comes, where you can check us out, linuxgamecast.com/podcast. Check us out. We got the feeds there. We got the Amazon things that no one ever clicks on. We get a little bit of a taste when you do. But you scroll down just a bit more.
Nothing.
That's right. Clear your cookies. Hit on that. You know, if you're in IT, I'm not saying, but yeah, that would really help us out, because we live on donations and we are unbeholden to no one, as long as we just get a little bit of wet, sneaky cash from the peoples. But we do got a one-time donation. If you're not into that, screen that. It will get in the one-time donation board. But we got about $3.50 a month PayPal. That's a recurring donation. For that, you're going to get your name on the leaderboard. But if you really want to step it up, £10 a month, name on the leaderboard, and you get access to something horrible. How horrible is it?
Horrible.
What is it?
Horrible. You get to see the sausage way before it's made. It's
wait. So if if we're covering like games before they even come out, and we have links in the show notes, they could click on them and download and play them before anyone else.
Nah, that's way too good.
Yeah, but you can get that business for like £10 a month donation. But on top of that, we do have Chat Realm.
Wait. Don't we have someone to thank this week for our donations?
Who do we got this week?
We got Travis. He donated 10 when sticky cashes this week. So thanks a bunch, man.
Travis
we really
N?
appreciate it. Travis N. Yep.
You, sir. That's all I gotta say about that. No, seriously, thank you, sir. But where you can find us the other 7 days of the week, Chat Realm Static. You might be in the chat realm right now. We're talking about things, all the fun stuff. Well, we are the other 6 days of the week. That business, cutting that short. YouTube page, LinuxGameCast. YouTube.com/LinuxGameCast. That's our weekly, that's our reviews, how-tos, our player series, which we're going to start doing some more players. Then we got this thing that we gave this guy control of. It rhymes with Pedro Mateus.
Nah, it's all lies, man. Yeah, it's our Facebook page. If you're not on Twitter or on Google+, leave us a like there. Stay up to date with everything LGC. I promise I'll try to be more active and post more stuff there. I promise.
Mm-hmm. And finally, least but not last. Well, actually, it is last. It's our favorite subreddit, Linux_gaming.
Still rocking the ugly stick.
Wow, apparently. This is like epilepsy, rage-inducing colors, as is tradition.
Yep.
Great stuff here. We like to pull a lot of news from here, like to pull a lot of feedback and comments, from the people, by the people, something, or foxes.
Ooh, foxes.
And no one knows what they say, and we're just going to leave it at that. Sounds good?
Hey, I don't know what the fox say, so... Ven, want to educate the chitlins again this week?
Why do I always get to do this?
Will you promise not to molest anyone this time?
Why do I have to be the one that always educates them?
Because you're Big Daddy Ven.
How about...
Nope.
I do one and you do the other.
Okay, fair enough.
Fine, I'll just do both. No, this is a big thing, kind of a big thing, especially if you're into Linux gaming. And I'm guessing if you're watching a Linux gaming podcast or listening to it, or however you consume this, I would hope there's more mysterious ways that are possible. Mac and Linux beta testers wanted. And what is it wanted for? It's for Chainsaw Warrior. What is this game about? Pedro?
To tell you the truth, I can't exactly tell. I don't own the game, and from the screenshots I saw, it looks like a
Card game? Dice game?
card game. Yeah, it's a tabletop type game ported to the PC,
Uh-huh.
and it's called Chainsaw Warrior for, the graphic imagery. That is just still images. But okay, it's a Linux beta, and I've actually signed up for it myself. Haven't heard anything from them yet, so
There will be
keep
a
my
link
fingers
in
crossed.
the show notes for that business, so if you're
Yes.
into trying to decrypt whatever the fuck all game that is, you're welcome to get into Chainsaw Warrior. But this comes from our friends at Root Gamer.
Yes.
Well,
You
Sandy Martin reached out,
Yes.
and he pretty much went full metal stig on me during this contest. He was like, Root Gamer knows 2 facts about not ducks, but Linux Gamecast, and they're both wrong.
Yeah, I noticed that the LGC questions weren't exactly up to, the scrutiny, but okay. They're running a little trivia. You can answer the questionnaire.
No, it's in tonight, so you want to get onto it on the live stream. That's why we're putting it in here.
Yeah, if you're watching us on the live stream, well, Ultimor is in chat realm right now, so if you have any questions, you can ask him. But to our audio listeners, we'll probably get this late. This is a little questionnaire that Root Gamer put out, and it includes, like Ven said, 2 questions about LGC and their slightly off key.
Yeah.
Yeah. But once again, you'll be able to find the link in the show notes. Just make sure you send him a note.
Go
with
ahead
the
and
correct
post that
answers.
link in Chat Realm Dynamic while we're still on about this,
Yep.
because that's all the good I'm doing for this week, because I'm good at out. I mean, I just want to go punch a midget right now.
A midget? What about some horse tidbits?
Well, I gotta be honest. It's you can't call it a midget or even a gelatinous thing, because you can clearly tell it's whatever's inside of it's starting to grow.
Yeah, it's growing, and it's growing at an alarming rate. It doesn't fit under my porch anymore, Vin. We're going to have to find a new stable, because it's our
Steam
Linux update of the week.
Oh,
And first up,
hey, mother of Jesus, we got Payton Killer, Hell and Damnation. Can I get a raw man, ladies and gentlemen? Just a one. Hey, man.
Heaven's got a hitman.
No,
Tell him, brother.
seriously, Painkiller Hell and Damnation beta is released. You can pick up the game for $19.99 wet stinky cashes. We just set the beta to our Linux version live. We've had it for a while. Please mind these known issues. Now, known issues. I'm just going to tell everyone listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, here's what I know it works on. Ubuntu, get ready, take a shot. 1204, 32-bit LTS with the latest NVIDIA graphics drivers on my 560 Ti's at 1080p with everything on 11. Smooth, except for the load times. PMAD?
Yeah. On my end, using Corora 19 32-bit, it at first it didn't work. Then I figured out why, because I looked at the log file and I saw that they were the game was looking for an OpenGL extension for a DirectX texture compression library, which only works in Linux if you have an NVIDIA card, as is the case with Ben. So anyone that didn't have an NVIDIA card couldn't play it.
So,
now they have fixed that.
They've
since
went through it. Look at it, though. It's pretty.
It's shiny.
You know, all
But
this...
yeah, they've since fixed it, and
Hello.
they actually recommend on the on the original post in the Steam community, they do say that after several hotfixes and additional testing, we have revised our standpoint and actually advise open source drivers for all non-NVIDIA GPU users. You heard it here first, kids.
Well, I'm going to tell you
maybe
exactly what this game is about, because I've been kind of waiting to just talk about this. Can't review it until it's officially out of beta. All right. If you're going to spend 20 quid on this, I'm just going to tell you, for the beta, load time, get ready for it. Because with the Unreal 3 engine, there's no way. There's a lot of dynamically compiled textures that they can't really figure out a way to sort it, and the other Unreal 3 engine games did.
Yeah. The shaders still have to compile it. Load time.
So this is really a game, when you launch it, learn a new hobby. On my 8-core box, I mean, I'm not shitting you, it's like 3 minutes before it starts.
Yeah.
It's to the point where
3 minutes for just about everyone.
Yeah.
Even on my calculator.
Yeah, you open up top and you're like, well, are you working? And it's fabulously multi-threaded for 2 cores.
Two whole cores.
2 whole cores. You know, got the other 6 doing this the entire time. Outside of that, gameplay itself, I mean, if you're like a real Linux game and you're not, a Winbro that dual boots or something like that, and yes, I still call you a Winbro if you dual boot.
Because you are.
This is Serious Sam 3 in hell.
Yes.
Would you argue this?
Nope. Actually, I can't remember which one came first, if it was the original Painkiller or the first Serious Sam. They were both in the early 2Ks. Oh, well.
Anyway, since we don't have a resident Jew here, can you be in space?
Space! There are no dragons in space. Sorry, Portal 2 reference. This is Space DF9, and apparently it was released by Double Fine, hence the DF, No, see what they did there? It's a early access strategy simulator type thing. I haven't played this one, but it looks a lot like Theme Hospital in space.
The hell's Theme Hospital?
It was an old game from the 90s, the really early 90s, where you would build a hospital and build like surgery rooms and everything. You basically manage the hospital. It was like SimCity, but just on a hospital.
So this is kind of like pre-Sims, before Sims, after the original SimCity.
Yeah, pretty much.
Makes
Confusing
perfect
as that may
sense.
sound, that's exactly it.
The only thing that doesn't make sense to me, I mean, it's early access game, yeah, Double Fine, maybe expect some of that humor in there. I'm looking at the graphics there, but yeah, we can do better than this. And then I look at the price, and it's 30, well, 25 wet, stinky cashes.
25 during the early access, I'm guessing. 20% off.
Well, my first thought is like, what the fuck are you going to charge for the finished game, son? Come on, brother.
I don't know, but it's not going to be cheap. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that business.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
gonna
hey,
have to,
if you like sim games, maybe this will be your thing. But we at LGC, here at LGC, we have a whipping boy. Well, Ven has a whipping boy because I've actually managed to
Not
play
really,
around
you just
with it
mean
for a
we
little
got
bit.
something that's never really fucking worked, right? Is that what you're trying to come across?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pedro, with his politeness, we don't have our normal Judaism here. Natural Selection to Build 258 is now live on... And what does this mean? This means... prepare yourself. This is so strange. This is weird. It works on Linux, kind of. I went through the tutorial and I knew exactly like the 3 spots it would nope out. And I... Click! And it still ran. So after, 3 months after buying this at full retail price, I now have a fully functioning copy of a closed source version of Tremulous.
Yeah, that's actually an accurate description, although the Spark engine was supposed to have shinier graphics, if it worked. But yeah, if you go through the fixed bug list, they do say they have a bunch of OpenGL bugs that were present in both Mac and Linux. They have been fixed, and they've added some new stuff. They've optimized caching and overhead, and they've removed server hitching and some direct 3D BS. Well, apparently it works now. I never really had much of an issue with it, except that it didn't work with the open source drivers, which, by the way, it still doesn't. So screw them. I can play Painkiller at this point.
At the end of the day, I've never really had a chance to play this. Kind of a, J-Man bought this a year ago almost, thinking it was like, this is coming out. Because, there was like whispers, and he was like, all right, I'll buy it on faith. And when I'm just talking about the Ubuntu system, we're talking about Fedora Core, not working on that. And yeah, it still works, and this is my first time playing it. It's tremulous.
It's tremulous. That takes about half.
Am I lying with my face
shaders? No.
It doesn't
does
look
a lot
that
like
spectacular. I was like, all right, so not only did I waste my money on this, and I really like on the G Plus post, they disable comments.
No wonder why.
Clever girl. So that is Natural Selection 2 build 258. It's now live on Steam.
Yeah, you can find the link in the show notes, just like everything else. But on to much more positive news. We have Shadowrun Returns.
The fuck Shadowrun Returns, man? I never heard of it.
It's imagine Deus Ex meets Icewind Dale.
The hell's Deus Ex?
It's a game, again, from the 90s. And so is Icewind Dale, before you ask. It's Deus Ex, for people out there who don't know it. It's sort of like a first-person RPG with a cyberpunk theme to it. And Icewind Dale, it's the predecessor to Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter Nights, so if you don't know what that is, shame on you. But yeah, this comes from Harebrained Schemes, those fine people, and I've been waiting for this game for a long time, and it's not exactly what I was expecting. It's the original campaign that the game comes with. It's a bit too linear for my taste, but it does work under Linux and it's Unity, so it's worth the money.
What's it cost? What's the price?
Yeah, it currently costs €18.99. That's like $23.99 or $22.99. I can't be sure, but they were. Yeah, it's already over now. Yeah, they did have a 33% off promotion when the Linux patch first went live. I guess it's over now, so you're going to have to pay full price.
Oh, so, since Shantrealm is kind of chiming in. I've been a Linux only gamer since 1996. Lawn. Let me remind you of that. Jeez.
Okay. Oh, Maddie says it's $19.99 US on Steam. Okay, so they have a bit of regional pricing going on. Who am I to judge?
Would you suggest it for 20 quid?
Yeah, 20 quid. It's
If
very deserving of 20 quid.
All right.
Very much so. And it comes with an editor. It does bring. Jesus Christ. It does bring an editor.
What do you need?
So brings an editor, and it allows you to make your own campaigns and share them on the Steam workshop. And if you don't like to, make your own levels, if you're not the game master type, just download the other people's. There's already about 1,000 of them. Yeah. There's about 1,000 of them already. And I think that about wraps up this.
Well, we got to be careful. We got to slide it in gingerly, because, it might not give us steam boxings at first, but when that gelatinous ooze that used to be the horse, it might actually poop out an areola controller or two.
Ooh.
And that would be kind of neat. But what's coming up next, P-Man?
Up next, join me, Ven, and the Svang for the review. Wait, no, it's the news. Gotcha. With that tiny little monstrosity that seems to be growing from our No, let's do this again. I cocked this one up.
Too bad, because we're getting into the news, and that dead horse is quite dead. And we're running with only 2 legs, and we're normally running with 2 legs and a big floppy appendage. But we are getting into the regular news, and this news, should we get ready to humble?
I think we can ready to humble this time because it includes Linux.
Yeah, that's a bit of a stretch. All right. I'm looking at lock and keys when I think of Linux here. Now,
okay.
All right. That's why I'm looking at it. Basically, we have 2 games, because Anodyne doesn't count because it's a fucking Flash game.
Yeah, no. Anodyne, no.
Doesn't count. We've already covered that. We got Worms Reloaded. Interested in playing that? Maybe. And Bard's Tale. Now, here's the brilliant thing about Bard's Tale. They didn't think that Linux users had more than 1 monitor. And this really hurts my brain organ, because the average Linux user, especially of my vintage, the idea of only having 2 monitors pains me. There's at least 3, possibly 4, at best, because we're system administrators and of that ilk. But,
yep.
Yeah, it doesn't work with separate X screens, and there's some hackety-ass patch that, and I don't call it a hackety-ass patch, because it's a hackety-ass patch, but it came from a fellow Linux user, not from the developers, because we're good like that. And they
made an Android game, ported it to Linux, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, way to check that. Ticket to Ride, don't care about that. Greed Corp, don't work. And a Centipede, yeah, whatever.
Incredipede.
And I'll take that back. Anodyne was an Air game.
Yeah, Anodyne is Air, not Flash. Yeah.
I do take that back. Something that Adobe discontinued on Linux before Flash.
Well, Adobe should pretty much just discontinue itself at this point, but that's another story. Ticket to Ride,
hang on. Scroll down. We do have Worms. Worms can be fun with a bit of
Yes. I mean, it's Worms. I used to play it on my Sega Saturn, the original Worms.
But they did give the, Linux charm as a couple of games that we don't have, and guess what?
Yep. We have more sales than Mac, and we pay more than Mac. About $2 more. How about that, Humble?
With only 2 games, like think about that. Come on. Well, we're not talking about Humble anymore. Humble doesn't give a flying fuck. Humble is a corporation to make money.
Yep. It's just a front for Wolfire Games to make that bit much more money. But yeah, you can find this in the notes if you don't know humblebundle.com already. And up next,
Elements.
we have
It's
Elemental
World,
World,
man.
Part 1.
Yeah, you ever look at the...
Rise of the Guardian.
Have you ever seen Elemental Worlds? Wait, no, I mean, seriously, have you ever seen Elemental World, Part 1? Weed?
It does, the skeletons do drop weed in the game. I can attest to that. But no, this is alpha funding on the Sura. You can purchase... Okay, it's a bit steep. I don't, it's... In euros, it's 12.05. How much is that in dollars, Vin?
1607 quid.
1607. It's 33% off as long as it's in alpha. Do keep in mind, it's still a very early alpha.
The fuck is
and
it,
there
man?
is...
People are wondering.
Yes, it's...
Elemental Worlds is an online RPG that is being made for
Yes.
every player to be able to play. Well, that's neat. In it will
Yeah,
be
that's what I
all
was going to
styles,
say.
themes, and have loads. What I've taken from this, is this that? Yes, this is that game.
It is.
It's on Desura. That's the only way you can get it. And they gave us some keys, and it's like, all right, I'll finally download it. I had some time to do this. Didn't chmod things properly, so, I had to...
Yeah, they were using zip. I had to email them to get them to do it the right way.
Anyway, fix that. That's bad for sales when people spend that kind of money and it doesn't launch. Because, your average Arch user, see, look, right here, like that, Arch! They would have no idea about how to set file permissions. So, that's frightening that they didn't do that, but at the end of the day, take a shot. And if you're asking, 16 quid for an alpha, you better make sure it runs. It does run at the end of the day. Take another shot. I'm just trying to get people drunk at this point because this is part of the LGC drinking game. The game looks really nothing like this. This is a very choice... Well, all right, choice might be the wrong word. And
There it is. In play.
alpha. What were your experiences with it?
Yeah, my experience is at first, like Vin, it didn't launch on the Sura, and I sent them an email. I got them to package the game in tar.gz before sending it to the Sura. And now, if you get the game now, it should launch out of the box. It's a Unity MMO. It's a very, 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 very early alpha, so keep that in mind, but it's setting up to be a very good looking game. Unfortunately, and this is the only snafu with this particular game, is that the only native English speaker on the team, the development team for this game, has dyslexia. So give the guy a break, because the simple fact that he managed to write all that on the Desura page is kind of an accomplishment. So keep that in mind. Don't judge them based on their English because, well,
No,
now
look at
you
it this
know.
way. Maybe next time they update their pricing.
That too.
Just saying, but don't get your corners in a stone.
Cornerstone.
Giggity.
Oh, hey, kids. It's Kickstarter.
Hey, but it's
What?
Kickstarter with a Linux demo.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's sort of a
Yeah,
Linux demo.
you want to hate on this.
Yeah, I kind of want to hate on this.
This
I kinda-
already looks better than what you were just talking about. That was like 16 quid.
Yeah. Well, there is a Linux demo. Unfortunately, it's in a RAR file.
Mhm.
Yes, RAR. So forget about permissions, forget about everything, because it's a RAR.
Wait, would you just be happy if I invented a new form of compression called GWAR?
Why not use, I don't know, maybe gzip? With
No,
the
I think
tar?
.gwar. I mean, this would be one of the command queues.
Okay, I could get behind .gwar.
No, but I get
But-
what you're saying. This looks like Wind Waker, but it does look kind of like Wind Waker, which is impressive.
Yep. That's what the game screams.
Because I'm looking at you in the show notes, and you're bitching about it, and I'm like, all right, well, on the top of your head, name off the games that we have that look kind of like Wind Waker on Linux. Go ahead.
Actually, we can't. The only other Zelda clone we have is.
Oh, that's great.
Anodyne.
Now continue bitching about it.
No, I'm not bitching about the
No,
game
no, hate
itself.
on it. Hate on it. You should read the loathing, scathing things Eve said.
You'll be able to read it all in the show notes once the episode is posted. It's not that I'm hating on the game itself, it's that I'm hating on the choice the developers made. That's the raw thing. They didn't properly set the folder structure inside, which is a Unity game, so basically all you have to worry is that the data folder is correctly named and it works, which it wasn't. And, well, like Ven already said, it screams we wanted to make Zelda, but we can't afford a license. That's what it is. It's basically Zelda for whatever good that'll be.
It's Zelda.
I don't like Zelda.
Helmet.
Okay, I admit I don't like Zelda. I don't.
You're dead to me. No, the Kickstarter campaign, I mean, you can definitely look it up. Reasonable goal, 30,000 wet stinky caches.
Very reasonable goal. And if you do like Zelda, which
the
I'm
Song
sure
of Tyrim.
a ton of you do.
Pretend he's a Lannister, and your debts must always be paid. Kick him a few caches because, it's Unity, but hey, there's a demo you can futz around with. That's better than most, eh?
Hey, they're doing it right. That's all we ever ask. Give us a demo, give us a prototype, something for us to play with. And speaking of demos and prototypes, someone else who's also been doing it right.
This came in the way of hate mail, but I kind of moved it up. Terry wrote to us. Terry, the terrifying Terry. He said, I look forward to another Saturday night of bizarre, random YouTube videos. We delivered, didn't we? Foul language and, just obscenity. And welcome to LinuxGameCast Weekly. But I would also like to mention Retrobooster, updated to Z78.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you've been playing the betas, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I haven't played these last two versions, admittedly.
These are the little humans in Retrobooster.
But this...
in a game like this,
listen to Terry.
Land and rescue them.
Yeah.
It's okay. I got 1,000 points for each of those. And they're launching little signals.
Oh, God, that's boring.
This demo fixes a couple of things and introduces a bunch of new things, like new in-game interface, new ship model. It's bigger, it's slower to turn, and Terry claims it's sexier. And he used to work at NASA, so I'm going to have to take his word for it. It has rumble support for game controllers that support it. It should work under Linux, if you're lucky. He introduced the dolly zoom effect for when spawning a new ship. Sound effects now pause when you actually pause the game, and there's a plethora of cosmetic changes to feast your eyes on. You can find all of this on reallyslick.com, which is Terry's website.
Well, enough about your genitalia.
Hush. Enough about the genitalia, and let's get into the borders. Or is it frontiers?
The frontiers.
Frontiers. The game that ran a Kickstarter from June 17th to July 17th. If you don't know Frontiers, it's trying to be a Linux, Mac, and Windows game to emulate the sense of exploration and the RPG elements that you could find in the old Elder Scrolls Daggerfall from Bethesda Software.
Wait a minute. So you're ripping on somebody about making a Zelda game?
Yes, but I
Now,
don't like
these
Zelda.
motherfuckers walk along and they're doing a budget version of Elder Scrolls, and you want to suck the dicks. Do I get this about right?
I don't like Zelda, but I love the Elder Scrolls.
I mean, did
games,
I just
so
have to walk up there and
yes.
like slap the cock out of your mouth while you were talking?
Hey. Bethesda know their shit, and they got the Elder Scrolls games right, so I'm just sorry they're not on Linux, but this one, Frontiers, is. And you know what else is interesting?
Mm-mm.
The Kickstarter for Frontiers ran from, like I said, June 17th this year to July 17th this year. So it's been 3 months, and there's already an alpha for the people who backed the game. It's already out. If you are one of the backers and you enlisted for beta testing and alpha testing, you're probably already playing it. Hear that, Stainless? Where's Carmageddon?
Wait. Oh, you mean the guys who kind of went mad happy with money and dissolved their business from their original Carmageddon. Then they came up with the Carmageddon reincarnation, created a Kickstarter, got us all to feed into it, and then got backing from a separate entity. Now, stay with me.
Yes.
Then released an Android app that nobody fucking cared about. Well, I guess some people did. Which had nothing to do with the Kickstarter, but apparently there was some other money. And it's kind of futzed around for almost a year after that until, I guess, outside entity who gave them all that cash said, tap. You've kind of made kind of a shitstorm of negative publicity of not delivering on, the people who gave you $500,000. And they went, oh, and they still haven't given us anything. Is that?
Nope. Those guys. Those
Okay, all right. Now I know who you're talking about. All right. I know who you're talking about now.
So, Stainless, here's an example for you. Frontiers guys, respect. I'm actually playing the alpha, so.
Well, they got their alpha concept project early in development. Check it out. They're on Facebook, they're on Twitter, Greenlight. We will have the links in the show notes.
Oh, yeah.
And anything
And
makes us sensitive little bitch. Pedro.
I heard that.
Don't cry.
I heard that.
Don't.
You hurt my feelings.
No. No tears.
You hurt my feelings. Feelings.
He stutters like that. It's diabetes mostly. It is.
But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for the news.
Coming up next, we're reviewing. Well, actually, we're just going to be throwing the chairs at something that owes us the dues. Normally, this would be the part where J-Man says, it's time to throw some chairs. And that's kind of what we planned on. But unfortunately, we just could not get everything together this week. So, let's skip straight to the hate mail.
And now that those lawn chairs have been folded neatly back into place and Jordan's gone back to caretaking for his poor dying internet connection, let's get into the hate mail.
Well, you mean people hate us?
What? You don't?
Well,
I thought it was a given.
Or did we just cleverly set up a system to where we always win, no matter what? If you love us, you get on the show, and if you hate us, you get on the show even more.
Shh.
Oh, right.
Secrets.
No,
But yes, this first one comes from Dan on Google+. He said, Pedro Mateus, I take exception with your shitting on Final Fantasy X 2 through 14. I thought 12 was actually pretty good, though the story was on the weekend. Final Fantasy 12 sucked big balls. I've already made that point clear in that
Now, if
particular...
you're wondering, I'll bring up question 1. Fuck all does this have to do with Knock Knock?
Yes, this was in reply to our Knock Knock review when I said that whomever had the brilliant idea of freezing the game mid-action scene to, give that expository dialogue in gibberish, that they should be strapped to a chair and force-fed Final Fantasies 10-2 through 14 to learn what immersion or lack thereof does to a game. And he apparently took offense to that, because personally, I liked Final Fantasies 1 through 8.
So imagine if there was a point to this. Wrong, right, what is he?
In my opinion, he's wrong. Because Final Fantasy 12 was garbage.
So,
dude.
Hey, brah.
Hey, brah.
Brah, right, you have a drink from Arch Cup! Arch! I'm a drink from Arch Cup right now, brah. Because we're talking about the Dude Fish. Hi, Vid.
Dude Fish?
Jordan and Pedro. My name is Delia, and I'm part of a small indie game development team from Norway, Sweden. Yay! I love your regular, ordinary meal times. We are perfectly paranormal, and we thought you may be interested in our new game, Dude Fish. It's slightly unorthodox, so Catholics, point-and-click game that you play as Dude Fish. A guy that suddenly wakes up under the sea as fish. Suffering from a bad case of bird phobia and goldfish memory. Now, if you're clever, you understand that. If you're not, you're just wondering. He has to find out what happened to his glorious mammal attributes. Find a way to get back to his land. This is the first episode of a series of 3 games, because we plan on milking it.
Oh, yeah. But then again, it's free. So...
Well, this is called, no offense, but toe in the water. Somebody interested in this. So, you think this could be a thing, maybe, possibly?
It's a point-and-click adventure, if you like.
See, I haven't researched this, but I see play in the browser, and that tells me it's Unity.
It is Unity. And it doesn't, if you're wondering, in Linux you cannot play in a browser because the Unity browser plugin doesn't work in Linux. So you can download the demo, and it saves you a lot of time in the loading screens because you don't have to download everything. And it works. It's a point-and-click adventure game. Like, it was actually a point-and-click adventure game in the early 2Ks with fish, but I can't remember its name. And it's free.
No, that
like
was Swordfish, and that only involved Halle Berry's tits and blowjobs.
Yes. Halle Berry putting the book down and titties. But okay. They're currently running a Steam Greenlight. They're up for being present on the Steam store, and since they do have a free Linux playable demo,
I don't see it on the damn site.
Yeah, it is. It's right below the videos.
Oh,
right there. Yep. So drop them a vote. Say yes, because they're doing it right. They did give us a prototype. They give us the whole damn game to play, and it's going to be free even on Steam. Mm-hmm. Let him know. What up next? Jeremy
Imagine
has something to say.
A world in the future's past of years ago, long forgotten in the future.
In the future. So this is 3089 Linux Action RPG. Hey, LinuxGameCast.
You don't even want
sounds
to know
like
what
fart.
goes down in 3086. Nasty business, that. They revived Schwarzenegger. It's horrible.
True story. So, developer of 3089 here. 3089 is a futuristic action RPG. If this sounds familiar, it's probably because you've been reading that other Linux gaming website. Because he actually made a post there describing all of this, and it was on our favorite subreddit. And to tell you the truth, at first, I was
Wait. No.
confused.
Let's clarify this. At first, now Pedro normally gets these emails. I'm like filtration. And they come in, it's
Yep.
like, and I'm like, yeah, so even with bothering with them, I was like, yeah, possibly. Beep. And I sent it over, y'all.
Yeah.
And y'all sent it back and said, I've already played it. I don't care. Piss off, Vin. Then y'all wrote back.
Did quite like that.
Y'all wrote back. He's like, oh, well, maybe, sir. I've not played this.
Because, and if I may explain, the previous game made by Fruit in this series was called 3079. The only thing that changes was a single digit on its name. And I was like, yeah, I already played this, so yeah, I already have it. But then I started looking on the sewer and I saw, no, wait, I don't. But really, the only difference I can tell at this point is that while the first one had Minecraft graphics that someone purposefully kicked down the uncanny valley, this one has slightly less blocky environments, but what I can see from the weapon, it's still just as blocky when it comes to the player character.
I mean, that's kind of thing. I mean, Fruit, thanks for sending us that one key that I immediately gave to the Mexican. Even though he first said, no, I got it. I was like, no, it's still yours. You deal with it. I don't want it. Maybe it's the thing. Minecraft, that would be neat. Minecraft type shit. I'm over that pixel hipster bullshit, but hey man, thanks for running the show. We gave you a plug.
Appreciate it.
Worst case scenario, somebody might like it. So I think that fills our hate organs full of glee.
Yeah.
Or your hate organs full of glee now.
Admittedly, my Portuguese rage still needs a bit more fondling, but I guess we can leave that for another week.
Well, that sounds fine with me. Since we're absent our resident Jew, I'm your giant Nazi bastard, Vin Stone, and you can cue the music because you can always find me at Vinstone plus Vinstone on the Twitter net. And look at this non-Hebrew, non-He-Jew. He is...
I am your slave Mexican migrant worker, and you can find me at unaccounted for on Twitter or plus Pedro Mateos on the Google Pluses. Jordan would introduce himself, but he's still taking care of his internet.
For shame about Canadian bandwidth that, especially in such a third world country such as Portugal.
I know, right?
And it's still working, but not so much in Canada. All I gotta say about that, I only got one thing to say about that.
Just one.
Just
the
one thing.
one.
Can I say? Then we're just gonna. All right, let's wave right quick. Just get that out of the way.
Sure, why not?
Wait, go ahead. Wave. Thanks, Obama.